Hello everyone, I am TitanicSizedReviews. I review movies, shows, and video games, and today I'm reviewing Picture Me Dead, a 2023 Tubi original movie. This movie is it's categorized as a thriller, drama, mystery, and mystery is a bunch of BS. There is no mystery in this movie at all. I'm going to get into that though. There's obviously going to be spoilers. You can watch this movie for free right now, at least at the time of me making this, on Tubi. It's TV 14. Well, let's get into it. So this movie, it starts out with our main character Chris and her niece Angie in their living room, talking to Angie's parents, just about her staying there with her aunt while the parents are on a little vacay, and their younger sister staying with their grandparents. They don't ever show the grandparents. I'm just bringing this up because the little sister is brought up a little bit later in the movie. I don't think the acting is awful. There's moments where it's bad, for sure, but not all the time. So I just want to get to that right away. Sometimes the acting is bad, but not all the time. Like, I think in the beginning it's fine. I think it's decent enough. So Angie, the niece, wants to go do this modeling thing the next day, and she's telling her aunt about it, how she doesn't want to go to college. Her aunt, who is a district attorney, says that she should go to college, doesn't want her to go do the modeling thing. They have like a light conversation about it. Next morning, they kind of apologize to each other, blah, blah. Chris goes to a court hearing where she's sentencing a dirty cop, gets him convicted and sent to prison. This will be more relevant in a little bit. But she calls Angie, who decides to go to this modeling place, which is just like a factory building. And there are multiple girls there, by the way. At least when she's there, she's not the last one in line, not the first one either. She goes in, does the modeling thing, gets a call from her aunt. I don't know if she just like stuck around after the other girls left. I don't know what happened there. But there were multiple girls there who should have seen her, participated in this event. I don't know why she stuck around. That's all I'm saying. She gets killed. I would say that's a spoiler, but it's not. It's like right in the beginning. It happens right away. She dies instantly. She's on camera with her aunt while this is happening. It looks kind of goofy when she's getting dragged away, about to get murdered. I might add. They don't actually show her dying. They just show her dead body hunched over like a stool with some blood on the floor. I don't know. That part seems a little dumb. Multiple witnesses. Somehow the police don't contact any of these women. They know where it happens because eventually later on you see like yellow police tape. It's kind of stupid, but it's supposed to be like the whole premise for the movie. Chris wants to find out who killed her niece and get some payback. Well, during this time, and she's crying, she talks to one of her police buddies, and they say they found the body in like a trash can somewhere far away, and there was no blood. And she asks a really stupid question, such as, wait, so you think the body was moved? Well, like, what? Obviously the body was moved. It's in a trash can, and there's no blood. She's a district attorney. I get that, like, the character is supposed to be upset, though you might not get that impression because she doesn't cry like at all. She gets sad a bunch in this movie, kind of yells a bit, but she like never cries except for one time, and that's later on. I don't know. It was kind of stupid. I just had to bring it up. So obviously she goes, she talks to her brother and her sister-in-law. They're upset. The dad kind of, I don't know, the reactions that you get from these people, at least at that part, is kind of weird. Because the mom starts freaking out before getting like any information, just her sister-in-law saying, I'm sorry. She doesn't explain what's going on, but she instantly reacts like, oh shit, my daughter is dead. She just knows. The dad also knows because he just comes out and holds her. He just holds her instantly, doesn't ask what's going on at all. I just had to bring it up because it's kind of fucking stupid. Well, they go to the courtroom a little bit later on because apparently they found out who the bad guy was, and you'll see him in the picture. It's not, like I said, it's not a mystery at all. You know who the bad guy is right off the bat. There's no mystery involved in this movie. His name is Vernon. He's some creepy photographer dude. Well, Vernon, he doesn't get arrested. He gets set free. His conviction is overturned because the evidence was tampered with. They found some evidence to bring him in the first place. I just didn't bring it up because it's not important at all. He gets, like I said, he gets let go, and he walks straight up to the family, looks at them, and then does a little clicking animation like with a camera, like he was emoting on them after winning a fucking game of Fortnite or Call of Duty. He's just, in your face, bitch. And then just spins around and walks out. It was ridiculous. It was kind of funny, but it was ridiculous. I'll be honest with you though, that was probably my favorite moment of this movie because it was so fucking stupid in a funny way. Well, shortly after this, and I'm not giving you the whole movie, I'm just giving you a lot of it, but not all of it. Certain parts that are just fucking dumb. Espinosa, another character who's like a cop, he goes to the morgue to find out what happened with the evidence that got tampered with. Finds out from the mortician that some of the cops know what happened. They may have tampered with it. They did. So he straight up goes to the police next. He's in the police building and he goes up to this cop and says that I know that you tampered with evidence, and the dude's like, dude, chill. Apparently this cop messed with the evidence because the other cop who got arrested was his friend. And that's not the only thing. Every other cop that's in the room at that time defends the dude because he's like a younger police officer. And they don't seem to have any issues with this man letting a killer go who killed a 17-year-old girl. They don't give a fuck. They're like, fuck that child. She's related to that bitch, Chris. Yeah, suck it, Chris. That part's so stupid. And not in a fun way. It's just mad dumb. The police officer doesn't try to hide it at all. There's no hiding it. Everyone just agrees with it. Espinosa's like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? He's a cop too, right? He could very clearly just be like, all these guys just falsified evidence and let this killer go. Yes, he would look bad in the other police officer's eyes, right? But chances are they wouldn't be police anymore. Also, there wouldn't be a killer on the street murdering more people. It's just real dumb. It was a real dumb moment. I didn't like it. I didn't like that moment at all. That moment really upset me. Well, like a month passes, and Chris is still following Vernon, but she's doing it on her own without any help from her attorney's office or police. She's kind of stalking him. She goes to his home late at night when it's like raining out, takes a picture. There's like a flash and everything. The parking lot's like pitch black. I'd say if there was like lightning or something, it would make sense, but I didn't see any lightning. They didn't do any like lighting effects like, oh, there's a big storm going on. No, it's just kind of rain. That's all it is, just rain. I kind of put up with it because I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess maybe there's lightning and we're just not seeing it, but it was kind of stupid. Like I said, she just did a dark parking lot, just takes a picture out of nowhere of this dude and then pretends like, oh, it didn't just happen. There's no way he can see me in the one fucking car out here. It's very dark, granted, but I guarantee you would see that vehicle. It's not super far from the building. It's, I don't know, it's just fucking stupid. Later on, she does go back to do the same thing, but doesn't take a picture. Instead, the bad guy, he takes a picture. And I'm only bringing this part up because the picture that he takes doesn't matter for the story whatsoever. He doesn't use it as like leverage, right? Like he doesn't try to get her in trouble with her job or with the police to get like a restraining order, something you would expect like a smart criminal to do. You're like, you can't keep messing with me. You're making yourself look like a crazy person. You do this and you're going to end up going to jail instead of me. Nope, none of that. None of that happens. That's why I'm just bringing it up right now. It just seems real dumb. I don't know. A little bit later, she's in her house and she's looking at her like investigation board. I don't know the proper term right now. I'm just spacing a bit. Where it's got the little strings, you know, and pins in it. It's like, this motherfucker did this here, did that there. And her boyfriend comes in. You see the boyfriend 3 times in the movie. This is like the most he's in it. And they kind of like have a tiff. And this is the part where she like kind of cries and is sad. And I felt like it was the only time she was kind of being real when she's sad. The rest of the time she's sad just looks goofy as shit. They look dumb. She's not crying at all. She's like, I just lost someone I love and care for. I don't give a fuck. My sister-in-law popped pills. I forgot to mention that. She popped pills because she was so sad about her daughter dying. She doesn't really cry about that. She's just kind of like, yeah. Whatever. She yells at her boyfriend. They get in a fight. Boyfriend leaves. And then a little bit later, she gets a text from her boyfriend's phone. And there's like a gift left at her door trying to make up. And of course, it's the bad guy, obviously. I don't think that part was written like poorly. They mentioned that he kind of like hired well, I'm just going to say a prostitute. I don't really know what the hell else she would be. Just some girl to kind of drug him and steal his phone, make it look like he got laid. Apparently he did not get laid. So he uses that, gets her to come meet him for dinner, and just has like a, oh, I'm an evil genius kind of conversation. I'm gonna flex on you. You can't keep fucking with me. You do, and you will pay the price. Ha ha. Starts speaking in French. That's how you know he's a bad guy. The French. I don't know what else to tell you. After this conversation, because he mentions her boyfriend and kind of makes her think that he's been kidnapped, she goes to the hotel where he's located because he literally gives her the room. She goes and she meets Espinoza there. They go into the room and they see him like half naked, top half, and this girl not wearing any clothes, just covered in a blanket. And she just, thinks he's been cheating. Maybe he has been. I mean, they were technically broken up. I'll let you decide that one. But basically, that's the end of their relationship. You won't see him anymore. Okay, whatever. Moves on. So then they decide they're going to get more information on this dude. Try to find out some dirt on Vernon so they can take him down. And this part is also really, really stupid. It's like the end of the movie area. And what happens is they're just now finding out that every place that Vernon has lived, there have been mutilated corpses, dead girls. Because he has a thing about killing models, because apparently his mom was a model who dies. I'm not going to go into any more detail on that right there, but it just doesn't make any fucking sense. Espinoza says that he called like an FBI friend of his, and that's how he got that information. I'm just saying, it's just, you're just telling me that now this dude's killed over 20 women, and somehow this is the only time that they put the dots together. 20 women. Apparently, every place he was at, he owned legally. He was like renting or something. He had his name associated with it. So I don't know how that's supposed to like track. It doesn't make sense. This is information they should have found out way earlier. It was stupid. It was just really, really dumb. So after this, Chris goes to speak to her sister-in-law, and earlier on, her sister-in-law had mentioned how they should try to get justice, you know, the hard way, the violent way. And Chris had said no. But this time she goes to her and she's like, you know what? We should go fuck this little bitch up. And her sister's like, are you sure? Like, what? She was the one who wanted to hurt the dude in the first place. The dude killed her daughter. They know that for a fact. Okay, alright. I don't know. It was just, it's fucking stupid. So what do? Chris follows Vernon, goes to his like apartment building, waits for him in the parking lot, tries to follow him up. Apparently some other dude stops on the steps to look back. I don't know what that was. Vernon just pops up behind her and like tosses her to the ground a little bit. And then the goofiest fucking fight ever happens. It's a very short fight. It's so fucking goofy. Chris and this psychopathic killer start having it out. Neither of them have weapons. As far as I know, Chris doesn't have any like formal training in hand-to-hand combat. They don't mention anything. Later on, they show her shooting guns and practicing with that, but that's shortly after. So this fight happens real quick. She kind of like whoops his ass, and then all of a sudden, her sister-in-law comes out in a hoodie with a baseball bat. This is for my daughter, bitch. Fucking whacks him in the head. End of the fight. End of the fight. I don't know what fucking happens there. All I know is it's the end of the fucking fight, and then all of a sudden, it's 3 months later. 3 months later. Don't know what happened to the bad guy. Somehow this isn't the end of the movie. All of a sudden, you've got the youngest daughter at her school taking like pictures, and the bad guy is there. Which isn't really that big a surprise. I mean, I think anyone with eyes would see that coming. I don't know how he manages to get the youngest daughter out of the school without anyone noticing, especially when he's like around other adults and a bunch of other children. Whatever, I guess. I mean, that's not like the biggest flaw in this movie, so whatever. Whatever. So he kidnaps her, contacts Chris after, you know, Chris goes to talk to the brother and sister-in-law while the police are at the house, and of course sister-in-law's crying again. I mean, obviously, if you're a parent, you would be. Then you get this like montage of Chris practicing with guns. It might have been right before the call. I don't know. It's just a moment where she's just practicing with guns. It might have been before the first goofy ass fight, actually. It doesn't fucking matter. She gets a call, goes to this warehouse, a different one, that's just got blue tarps and trash. And the bad guy's just talking on like a walkie-talkie. He's not even far. Like if you listened, you could just hear him yelling. He's just talking on a walkie-talkie. The youngest daughter is underneath one of these tarps. There's only one moving, so it's either the bad guy or the youngest daughter. Chris takes a little while to like actually do anything with it. First she pulls out her gun, sees that it's her niece, and she's like, oh shit. Okay, you gotta be quiet. We don't know where he is. Starts to like untie her. The tying placement looks kind of goofy too, I might add. But I mean, she's a small child, so I guess that's not a huge deal. But she basically loosens one of her hands, and then the bad guy pops down. It's like, gotcha! They start fighting again. This time Vernon kind of kicks her ass. I don't know how this didn't happen before. The gun gets knocked out of her hands and is near like the young niece while they're fighting. The young niece, at one point, while you're watching them fight, you can just see her just like sitting there not moving at all. She's like a statue. And then all of a sudden, she's like completely untied. And I'm not going to spoil the next part, but it's just fucking stupid. Oh god, the ending fight it's awful. But that's the end of the movie, basically. They're like, oh, we beat the bad guy. You know they beat the bad guy. They're all up by like an ambulance, having a little family moment. Some shit out of a Tyler Perry movie. The fights in this movie suck. Certain parts in this movie with rationale suck also, such as the whole cops just being dirty and allowing a innocent 17-year-old girl to die and letting a bad guy get away. Real fucking dumb. Him admitting it instantly. Real fucking dumb. Just finding out about this dude's backstory and how he's a psychopathic murderer. Real fucking dumb. Despite all of this, I don't think everyone's acting is bad. I certainly think certain people's acting is bad, but not everyone's acting is bad. And even for those people whose acting isn't bad all the time, there are moments when you're just like, you could have done that better. It's whatever. I'm not going to hate on the acting for this movie. I'm just hating on the script, whoever like wrote some of this shit, because some of this shit is just ridiculous. It's not an awful movie. It's not a good movie, but it's not an awful movie. I'm going to give the movie a 4 out of 10. You know, it honestly, it could have been worse. It really could have. It could have been worse. If you liked the video, please click subscribe, leave a like on the video, maybe share the video, maybe leave a comment. I don't know. Maybe you think I should be nicer. Maybe you think I should be harsher. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.